2025, which we are about to fly later today. Me, Chris, and Emery are flying out, and we'll be meeting Eric Summer. No, we'll be meeting Andrew on the way, then meeting up with Eric Summer in Germany. That's tomorrow by the time we get there. Then meeting up with Kenny, then Camilla Z and Mike. Then the gang's all there. And we have a lot of work to do. A lot of things are coming up. There'll still be stuff being posted this week, not as much as we normally do, but a lot of little reviews from myself will be going up over the entire week. There'll be a few, we'll have our Essen blogs, so I hope you enjoy that. I'm going to try to do walkthroughs of each of the halls of the convention so you can see kind of what they look like. And I know there's a live Q&A from both Joey and Wendy who will be here in the studio. So anyway, this is a Q&A if you have any questions about anything. I just realized it is 1 month from today my daughter gets married. I'll have 2 married daughters at that point, and you all are old because you saw them on the videos. Anyway, let's see if we have any questions here in the chat. Hi, Tom. Our family has been playing through Adventure Tactics, and our twin 12-year-old boys have been loving it. Their storytelling and leveling up have been their favorite parts. Yeah, it's fantastic. I think by the time they're done with that, if I were you, I would move possibly to, what would be a good one to go to? I'm about to sneeze too. Sorry. I could feel that one coming. Maybe Tidal Blades 2 would be a good one to move to after that. They might like that one a lot. Let's see here. What is my favorite Halloween candy and why is it candy corn? I don't hate candy corn, but the problem with candy corn is after I eat like 5 pieces, I'm done. It doesn't have like a long staying power. I eat a couple, I'm like, that's fine. And then I don't want any more. I know some people love it, some people hate it. There's a lot of candies out there that people have very strong reactions to. And a couple of those candies I like a lot of people don't like black licorice. I like it. I don't love black licorice, but I find it fine. I just bought an Indian mix. I had it at an Indian restaurant, so I looked for it. It's like a mix of little black licorice pieces and some other stuff. It's like a good digestive supplement, but you eat it after like a meal, a handful of it, and it kind of refreshes your breath a bit. But I also love, and this is a me thing, I love circus peanuts. Most people do not, I guess. Well, they sell them, so some people must like them, but I love them. Is anyone coming to PAX U this year? Unfortunately, no. Our costs went up tremendously this year. Besides us moving, our moving was very expensive for us to move, and a lot of our money. A lot. Don't get me wrong. The end result is very good, and our costs will go down in the future. But the short-term costs, and then adding in tariffs, I probably paid $10,000 to $15,000 extra dollars in tariffs this year, and still doing that, right? So. That's going to raise our costs also. What do I think of the new Army of Darkness board game? I haven't played it. In 2020, we've been spoiled for choice on games. Sure. Do you mean 2025? But it doesn't matter. With that being said, do you think there's a game that's changed the landscape of gaming like Dominion, Catan, Risk, Monopoly, and so on? It's hard to tell when a game changes the landscape. Some games do it because of their... there's like mega games. There are games that, we talk about influential games for sure. And so sometimes it's hard to see an influential game until later on. Like, for example, Seven Wonders Duel was a very influential game. We didn't know that at first, but now we see the repercussions of that. The Crew was probably an influential game in helping getting trick-taking back out there, but we didn't know that when it came out. A huge game was Codenames from CGE, and that kind of revitalized the party game genre to some degree. But it's kind of tricky to tell. Those are some that I would point out that kind of changed the landscape a bit. Oh, Gloomhaven. Gloomhaven changed it. Again, Gloomhaven has sold a lot. It was one of the biggest Kickstarters ever. People aren't going to know Gloomhaven. You don't go to someone and say Gloomhaven. Wow, if you say Catan or Ticket to Ride, they might know what it is. But definitely changed dungeon crawls and how they work. Congratulations, more grandkids on the way. Well, let's do the thing. Agamonia, Troy says, and this is in response to the kids playing games. That was the other one. I was struggling to pick between Agamonia and Tidal Blades, but I think the Tidal Blades theme would appeal to kids a little bit more. Maybe, but Agamonia is pretty fun too. So I think either one of those would work well. Favorite Halloween costume you or some of your family's ever done? I once put on my yellow hat and a yellow shirt, and then my son dressed up like a monkey, so we were Curious George and the man in the yellow hat. Role-player Adventures is fine for kids. My kids enjoyed it a lot, but just realized there's a lot of mathy dice manipulation in that one, and it doesn't have the character it has some character progression, but I would recommend Tidal Blades or Agamonia. Indian Fennel Seed. I think that's what I was talking about. Yes, that's exactly what it is. I don't know what it is about that stuff. I had it at a restaurant one time, and it just worked really well. I will quickly add a picture here into the... well, it all looks different. So... there's a bunch on Etsy. Apparently, people make their own on Etsy. I'm just going to grab an image here, though, and show you all. Come on. Come on, slow internet. Back in my day, the internet wasn't this slow. Goodness gracious. What is happening here? There's a picture. Looks kind of like that. Yeah, it's good. I don't know why, but again, it's not something I think people, and I don't sit around there going, oh, I should eat some. I just, if I remember after a meal, I'll be like, oh yeah, this is a good thing to eat. Why the hate on long game sessions? One of my best memories was playing Advanced Civilization that lasted 14 hours. Good times. I don't hate necessarily that things are long. Long can be good. I've had very long game sessions. I've played amazing games at Twilight Imperium and things like that. I don't have the time to do that these days, or more importantly, I don't make the time. But 14 hours, if I'm going to play a 14-hour game, I am taking up an entire day to play one game. And I have found that for me, even if I have a whole day of gaming, I would rather play 6 games during that time than one really long game. And I'll tell you why, because one really long game that's amazing is pretty awesome. One long game that's not amazing is a pretty terrible experience. While if I play 6 different games, I'll have the mix of experiences. Of course, if I pick all games I like, I can have some great ones. It comes with getting older, and perhaps when you're older, like retired older, you go back to the longer games. But also, I found that in a lot of these longer games, I kind of sit around and I'm bored when it's not my turn, and I can't really talk to other people in their turn because they're thinking very carefully about their turn. So there's not a lot of, hey, let's sit around and chat either. But I don't hate long games, and I'm happy if people like them. But if I think a game is too long for what it is, I'll ding it a bit. That being said, I'm always amused by people's reaction to what we do. We just reviewed Luthier yesterday, and Chris Wendy gave very high scores, and I gave it a 7, a positive score, but it was like I hated it. They're like, what's Tom? Tom is an idiot. Like, I liked the game. I just didn't love it as much as other people. And if you ever wonder why more people don't review games, that's why. And if you wonder why people don't review games negatively, because I gave it a 7, but what if I gave it a 3 or 4, which is my legit right to do, people would jump down on you. And that's the reason a lot of reviewers don't do negative reviews. We do them, and we take garbage for it all the time. But I think it's fair to the consumer. But you have to work to do it. Unless you're someone who just loves doing negative reviews, it's not the funnest, experience to do. We have been playing Dreadful Meadows this week and loving it. Any recommendations similar to this game? No, but I'll throw it out to the chat. Maybe the chat knows one that's similar to it. Trying to be healthier for breakfast. What's your go-to weekday and weekend breakfast? I eat the same thing almost every day. I either eat Some fruit. Could be anything. Apple slices, I think, is what I had this morning. Some fruit and cheese, what I eat for breakfast every morning. Or I'll have some yogurt with granola. As you can tell, I don't eat particularly healthy all the time, but I do eat healthy breakfast. I started doing it years ago, and it's ingrained within me. Do you have to deal with pests like scorpions, snakes, and big spiders at the office or home? No. We have spiders show up at our house, but they're not big. And no scorpions, thankfully. Not since we were in our original Dice Tower studio. So the scorpions, no. Snakes. There are snakes in Florida, but I don't know that I've ever really come across anything that wasn't a tiny snake somewhere. And big spiders. So there's the pests in Florida, and I won't pretend. I mean, everything is where it's different. Here, the mosquitoes can be bad at times, and I occasionally see cockroaches, the large palmetto bugs ones. But teaching kids how to deal with them, I tell them to stomp on them. I don't have to tell them to stay away from alligators and things like that because they just will. You know, the biggest pain in the butt in my neighborhood right now are rabbits. I am mind boggled. I live in a HOA, a very nice one, fortunately, an HOA and when I first moved in, I saw this rabbit on the lawn. I was like, this is amazing, a rabbit. It's not unusual. This morning I saw 3 rabbits together, and my dogs go berserk. They see these rabbits, and the rabbits will not run until we're like 10 feet away. Then the rabbit will hop away a little bit. My dogs are like, please, please let us go. They chase them out of our yard. They've never caught one because my dogs both have a combined IQ of 17. The rabbit's over there, and the dog's like, oh, was that way? Which way? Which way? Which way? It's a good thing I'm not dependent on these dogs for food. But man, and the rabbits, so we have a Lede that we keep some of plants inside. My wife has some plants that have some vegetables and stuff, but we can't keep them outside the Lede because the rabbits get them. Thanks a lot, Peter. Are you going to be doing any live streams from Essen this year? I don't think so. I think what I'm going to do instead is I might. So I'm not going to say never. I might do a live Q&A or something. Maybe we'll just be off the cuff. But I did some live walkthroughs of the halls last year. And so I think this year what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk through the hall with my camera and record it ahead of time. That way it will look better and you can see it better later on. What's the oldest game you revisited this month? Checkers. Would you recommend trying a regular Regicide or going straight to Legacy? Well, frankly, just go straight to Legacy if you really think you're going to be interested in it, because the first mission of Legacy is regular Regicide, and so you can just play it over and over and over again until you go to the second missions, and then you play other stuff. So I think you would enjoy that. I really hope I can see you sometime at an event here in Chile. The community is growing stronger every day here. That would be amazing. Has your family found any specific games which were used to complement homeschooling your kids, learning to read and do math? I don't worry about that sort of thing too much. Just use board games. Any board game that has any kind of economic or any point system has math in it. And any game that you have to communicate with other people teaches English or has reading in it. I would never look for a game that specifically taught those. When I do tell teachers about them, I'll pick maybe specific games, but I would make a bigger deal about just playing games in general. You regularly give out ratings between 2 to 4 for bad games, but I rarely see a 1. What is a game? I mean, a game has to be really bad. Let me see here real quick. How many 1s have I ever given out total? So I'll go to page 32 here. Less than 100. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 45. 45 1s. And then for some reason, I've given out 8 1.5s. I don't know why those are all. I'm going to just change all those to 1s right now because there's no reason. So there's about 50 ones. Now, let me quick do this. There we go. All right, and then how many tens? Well, less than 100 of those, too. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 38, 39, 44, 42, 43, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 78. So there's more 10s, although realize there's a lot of expansions I've given 10s to. So if you take expansions out, it's going to be very different. So, yeah, 1 is just abominable. That's all. For Dice Tower conventions, do you have any tips for people who are thinking of going alone without knowing anyone there? Do people mostly play games with people they already know? I think we have the friendliest game conventions around. I won't pretend that people prefer to play with their friends in general in life. Like you go to any of my conventions, you'll find people play with each other. But first of all, if you're a newcomer, come to the newcomers meetup and meet other newcomers. And then secondly, use the flag systems. Walk around, look for people who have green flags, who want to play. They're asking people to join their game, or yellow flags. If you can teach a game, you're golden. Or put one up yourself and pick a popular game. You'll get people to join you. And then if you like that, you can keep playing with them. If not, then, rinse, wash, and repeat. And that's a really good way to do it. Conventions are best for longer games, says Mike. Rebellion War for Arrakis, etc. Oh, I agree. Conventions can be really good for that. I saw Dreadful Meadows has a deluxe expansion Kickstarter, but not reprinting their deluxe game. I feel like that's a mistake to offer one without the other. I don't know. Do you need the deluxe game to get the deluxe expansion? I don't know enough about it to know. Any authors you can recommend? I'm reaching the end of the Sanderson back queue. I'm currently reading a book. Who wrote this? James Islington. I'm reading a book called An Echo of Things to Come, the Lacanius Trilogy. This is the middle book of that trilogy. And I'm enjoying it. So there's one for you. To be fair, says Mike, you take a lot of heat for rating a game high too. You do, but not remotely compared to rating a game low. Rating a game high, people will go, you rate things too much and whatever. But low, I mean, you give a game a 6, it's like you burned it. And, we just talk about a 1. A 1 is very hurtful, though. If I give your game a 1, I'm saying there is nothing good or redeeming about this game at all, and you should never have made it. That's pretty strong, right? 5 is I don't like a game. Other people might like it, but I just don't like it. When we have these long games, a lot of chatting and banter is going on back and forth. 16 hours is my record. Axis and Allies World War I, that was a blast. And that can happen. And again, I'm just saying for me, it's less of a draw these days. Any expectations for Spiel this year? I have no expectations, actually. I expect our booth to go well. I'm looking forward to the live plays we're going to do. I expect to meet publishers and designers and folks who just like the show and have a good time. Other than that, I'm very kind of low key about the whole thing. I mean, I'm getting on a plane in 11 hours, and our plane's leaving from Miami, so I'm getting in a car much earlier than that to drive to Miami to get on the plane. So there is, there's a bunch of stuff to get ready before going there. But other than that, we're going to fly, we're going to get there, we're going to London first, and then going from London to Dusseldorf, then driving from Dusseldorf. We'll get into Messe probably 5 or 6 o'clock. I would imagine on Tuesday we'll do a few things. Then we're going to go eat. Then we're going to go crash. Then Wednesday is work, setting up the booth, and then running around and seeing as much stuff as we possibly can. And then Thursday is the fair starts. Yeah, it's exciting. I'm sure there'll be a lot of cool games. But yeah, I'm just mostly going to see people there. What are some foods you'll be reaching for while in Germany? Well, I love, more than anything else. I love German pastries. Very specific ones. Lingonberry, the different berried ones with berries are my favorite. On top, I just love that so much. And the sandwiches. The fresh sandwiches for breakfast is just one of my favorite things in the world. I'll try to get some Wiener Schnitzel and some stuff like that. Just whatever, I'll be fine. When is the Winter Spectacular this year? It is the first or second week of December. Rabbits are adorable, says Mike, until they destroy your yard and your HOA finds you and you're required to repair your lawn. Well, that hasn't happened for me, fortunately. What about those big birds walking around neighborhoods in Florida like they own it all? I don't know. They don't own it all. They can look at it all they want. I don't know. They don't bother me. Simon announced overnight that Asmodee is taking over Cthulhu, Death May Die. Do you think this is the final nail in the coffin? Are you guys just going to ask this question every time Simon sells something? Wasn't the final nail in the coffin the last one or the one before that? I don't know. I mean, I don't have a lot of contact with folks from Simon. If I see some people at Essen, I might talk to them. But for the most part, I mean, they sold it to Asmodee. Asmodee says they're going to fulfill it. Shouldn't everyone be happy about that? Cthulhu Death May Die is safe. Asmodee has it. And Simon has money, and it looks like they're trying to fulfill all their stuff. So, I don't know. Let's wait and see. I'm definitely, I really don't like being a doom and gloom type person, and there's a lot on the internet. So I just refuse to do it. You know what? If I'm wrong and bad things happen, mythic, so be it. But until the bad things happen, well, I'll wait. I do not like them at all. A pack of 20 walking through doors is not a good feeling. What are they up to? Do I owe them money? They're birds. Boo them. They run away. Played first pitch car last night with friends' kids. Successful. Would love to hear your tips for hosting a race. Just keep it moving. Just keep it going. One of the rules in pitch car I've completely ignored now. There was a rule that if your car flips over on the next turn, you just flip the car back to the other side. I completely ignore that. It doesn't add anything to the game. Just let the cars flip over. I ignore that rule. I just keep things going. Hey, it's your turn. Go, 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 go. And it runs pretty smooth. Do you think there will ever be a resurgence in electronic board games? I don't know what you mean by electronic board games. Are you talking about like old Dark Tower stuff? I don't know what the point of an electronic board game is anymore other than the cool factor of it when you can just have an app on the iPad or whatever that does the same thing. Troy says, remember to hit the like button, everyone. That's not me saying that. That was Troy. What are we at? 19 likes? It is what it is. I appreciate the variety in Dice Hour reviews of different groups. Tom, Wendy, Chris, Mike, etc., etc. Would you ever do a game with the whole crew in one review? No. Nothing would warrant that. I do very few with 4 people anymore. And that's because 4 people, there's a lot of talking, and so it's better with 3. It's just a little bit more focused. You want different points of opinion, and if we have a game a lot of people have played, I pick the person who liked it the most, person liked it the least, and maybe someone else. If that has happened, sometimes the person who dislikes it the most, though, didn't play it very much, so they don't really feel like they can add anything to the review. A good example of that would be Beasts, which Joey and Chris did last week, and I do not like it at all. But I didn't play enough to really be able to talk successfully about it, so I wasn't in the review. I'll put it in a roundup somewhere. Don't like the rating system over at BGG, specifically when they allow ratings of games not even being sent out by the Kickstarter campaign. Make your own website, I suppose. I don't love that you can rate games that aren't out yet either, but it's not that big of a deal. I'm experienced fatigue with cards being used in a Magic Yu-Gi-Oh type way, comparing attack and defense. Which card game would you recommend for using cards in a different way, preferably when I do? I don't understand what you're asking here. So, there's the Magic way, you mean, where the cards attack each other and they have hit points and or defense or whatever and attack. There's like thousands of card games that do things other ways. So there's all sorts of things. Summoner Wars is a great example of that, where they don't. I mean, the cards still have an attack and defense, but you're using dice. Maybe that's not what you want either. I'm not. And you said you're not a duel. There's hundreds of games. Race for the Galaxy uses cards in an amazing way. That's not a duel. Any good movie recommendations lately? No, not really. I'm not a big movie watcher. I mean, I watch movies, but I'm not the person to ask because I think most movies coming out I'm just not interested in. I just watched Fantastic Four again with my family, and they liked that one. It went over pretty well. I really like Fantastic Four. Everyone compares Fantastic Four to Superman, and I think Superman is more fun, but Superman, and I thought Lex Luthor was amazing as Superman, but Fantastic Four just felt like a good, complete movie. I know that's going to lead into other things, but it doesn't have to. It's one and done. While Superman, it felt like a slice of a much bigger universe because it is. Good morning, Tom. Do you still believe in Vasel's second law? The one about if a game has a good title, you can add an exclamation point after the name and it would sound good. Is that what I said? If a game is a good title, you can add an exclamation point after a game and it would sound good. Ticket to Ride. Did I say that somewhere? I don't remember saying that, but maybe I did. Would you consider bringing back top 10s for the podcast, or is there another way we could see Eric doing top 10s? Well, I mean, Eric has another job, so that's why you don't see him doing top 10s as much. And yes, he is on Board Game Breakfast. You can see him there. I don't know that you'll see him more than that unless we bring him down for a spectacular sometime. I'm still there. I hope I get to paint the Dice Masters. Oh, Death May Die Godzilla for studio. I forgot about Godzilla. So that means Asmodee has Godzilla. I will get one by hook or by crook somehow. I said I'm of analysis paralysis, but when I walk into a German bakery, it's like I'm not able to choose anything. It all looks like entering paradise. I agree, which is why every time I go to the German bakery in the morning, I go, I can't decide. You know what? I'm just going to get two things. Then I eat those two things, and I'm like, I'll eat one more. I skip lunch almost every day in Essen because I eat such a big breakfast. One about Dice Tower review, Elder Scrolls Betrayal of the Second Era. I thought someone did, or if not, I think Mike might at some point. How do you feel about people quitting games halfway through? Does it make a difference if it's a kid? Well, I mean, I'm a huge opponent of quitters. I mean, obviously, your kid fell down and you need to take him to the hospital. Quit the game. Or if you're hating the game and you're like, can I? And you ask politely. I mean, there's all sorts of ways you can quit a game. There's all sorts of legitimate reasons. But just going, meh, I'm out and walking away. No, and if you're a kid who does that, well, first of all, if you're one of my kids, you can't do that. That's why I'm always a little confused. Are you playing with random kids? Because if they're your kids, you have the ability to say, you're not quitting. We finished what we started. If it's someone else's kid, I'm like, well, what do you do? And then I make a note, I will not play with that child again since they quit. When will we hear about the reprinted game you keep teasing? Well, I only teased it twice. I asked the publisher, actually, specifically about this. Soon is all I can tell you. Have you ever done a top 10 house rules? Maybe. I just don't use enough house rules that it would be a good one for me. I only have so many house rules I use. Not that many actually at all. But they're always very minor things, like the pitch guard thing I just mentioned. And if you sit and say, "What are the house rules?" I would have to say, "Go, what games do I use house rules for?" I would think about them after I said it. Maybe I'll write them down, and then once I know enough of them, I'll do a list. Would you ever do like a two-way review where you would review a game opposite the older version? You mean comparing the new version to the old version? We've done that a lot, haven't we? I think we have. Have you seen the Magical Athlete Tournament on YouTube? I don't know what you're talking about. So I guess I haven't. Sorry, Cap. I recommend the movie Roofman. Okay. Have you tried Thunderfolk? Steam game, basically Jackbox meets Gloomhaven. Thunderfolk. Sorry, I don't know what we're talking about. Thunderfolk. Okay. Hmm. I don't know enough about it. I'm seeing some stuff here, but I don't know enough about it. Sorry. I feel like adding a question mark to the end of games gives it an air of intrigue. Cthulhu, Death May Die. Good morning, Tom. Just wondering, out of all the Dice Tower staff, which foreign language are you guys fluent in? Not many. English and Spanish, I suppose. I mean, Z and Kenny are very prolific in Spanish. And other people in Dice Tower can speak some languages or have learned them. I don't know how strong fluent might be in it, but there are people who would argue that I am not fluent in English. Hi, Tom. I want to go to Dice Tower West for the Indie Showcase. It says we can't be self-published on Kickstarter to participate. Just wondering about that rule. Well, I mean, I don't know. That's the rule. If you've been published on Kickstarter, then you can have a booth in the exhibit hall. Hope you every now and then make responding to hot takes. Really like it. Yeah, I saw that people really did like the hot takes. Let me see how many I've gotten since that video. I've got 19 more. So I'll say when I get, over 30, I'll schedule another hot takes response video since people liked it so much. Has Mare Nostrum Empire stood up over the years in your opinion? Oh, maybe. Rumble Second Tide. Sure. I like it. I'll still play it. We love the little daily vlogs. Those are fun, especially when we get people's favorite games of the day. That was great from World Series of Board Gaming. Yeah, I hear you, and I have an idea in that regard that I'll be putting into play. I know you like games that have anachronistic characters and mixed settings. How do you feel about game crossovers of sort, like if they put characters from Cthulhu, Death May Die, or Summoner Wars in Unmatched? I'm not opposed to it. It depends if it makes sense in the system. Like an Unmatched, it makes sense because an Unmatched is anachronistic. But if I'm playing Summoner Wars and Superman shows up, it's weird for me. Unless there's a whole expansion and add stuff, but I don't know. Like Magic the Gathering has jumped a shark that was jumping another shark that was jumping a third shark that was inside a refrigerator that was thrown out of a nuclear explosion that was launched from a catapult. I mean, it's just too much, right? And so I like that sometimes, but you got to be careful. Have you ever considered doing a top 10 of beautiful game setups? Maybe. A top 100 kids family game list. Oh, I've done it, and we've considered doing it. I'll tell you this: doing a top 100 kids games, for example, that would be a lot of work. It'd be just as much work as putting together a top 100 list. and it would have 1/10 of the views. I know this for sure. You all don't watch kids' games as much. And you say, I will, and that's great, and we consider it, but we got to figure out where we put our effort and time. And family kids games is a tough one and would not get as many views. Now, maybe family games would, and I might consider doing that in the future. Although, I don't know that it would be as useful. Let's say I did it. Half the games on my list, and my top 100, would already be on that list. So you would know a lot of them ahead of time. How many players do you play in Dice Throw Missions? I thought it was very easy solo and with 2, so was surprised by your comments on the difficulty. I played with both 3 and 4, and multiple times with 4, I think. So yeah, maybe it is easier with 1 or 2 players. I didn't think about that. The dice rolling would be the biggest issue. But then you also have less people going around and hitting the bad guys. Also, I think maybe you're just good at games. Do I have any Halloween traditions with my family and friends? No. Hot take. People love hot takes. Yes. I know you're not a scary horror movie fan, but do you have your favorite silly scary movie like Monster Squad or Abbott and Costello? I do like the Abbott and Costello stuff. I like movies that are horror-esque but more adventure, like Gremlins. Gremlins is kind of a horror movie, but I like that sort of thing. Eight-Legged Freaks. Things where there's people fighting against the monster, but it's not that the Mummy. It's more adventure than it is horror. There's still the scary thing that's chasing people, but they're more like, let's go. There's moments of comedy, things like that. I tend to like that a lot more. Just missed your comment. Where can we submit hot takes? Just send them to tom@dicetower.com. Weird to think that this hobby that I used to know as something for kids has almost become something that more adults do. I don't know that it ever was just kids. You may have thought that way. But when I go back and look at the games, I did it. If you ever get a chance, go back and I went through like an old magazine of games. A lot of those games in those magazines are still for adults. Party games have almost always been considered for adults. Since I was a kid, and war games, kids played board games, but adults played chess and checkers. And I think board games has always been a lot of adults. Sure, kids play it, and maybe less kids play it now because they have video games to play instead. So maybe there's less kids playing, but it was always an adult hobby. What's my favorite pinball table? Oh, that's easy. I played the new Dungeons and Dragons table that just came out. When I was in Vegas, me and Joey went to the Pinball Hall of Fame. We played it, and I played a couple other pinballs and just kept going back and playing the D&D one. I liked it that much. It was so fun. I think they had Matthew Mercer do some of the voiceover for it, but it had dragons and dungeons that you go through, and you're traveling and running across stuff, and it was just so much fun. So much fun. I really like that pinball machine a ton. Have I played the latest games from Game Brewer? No, I didn't. I wanted to, but I just never got around to it, and it was lower priority because, well, they went out of business, so their games aren't for sale necessarily. So I put it on a lower priority. That's all. Pulpy horror is what you were describing. Yeah. But I do like Halloween Horror Nights. Well, Halloween Horror Nights, I'm with a bunch of other people, and it's more jump scares than anything else. It's not creeping horror. If I had to go through that park by myself, I would never do it. If I had to go through one of those mazes by myself, I would never do it. If they're like, go walk through on your own. No, I would die of fear. Is it 30 submissions of hot takes or 30 valid hot takes? Valid ones. And no, not all from the same person. Morrison Game Factory, those old-timey games in the catalog they provided. Yeah. What publisher do you think would have interest in recreating an old and very rare game? Well, maybe Restoration Games. I haven't played a pinball machine in years. Most of the places that had them went out of business. Well, if you search, there's pinball locators. You might find some near you. There's apps and stuff to find pinball machines and stuff. I did a search here in Fort Myers and found several places that had pinball machines. My grandparents told me that pinball machines were illegal back in the day. They were. They were considered a form of gambling. And they had underground pinball arcades. Yep, that is true. Do you have a go-to app or Switch game to pass time on a plane? Well, my iPad broke a few months ago, and I was waiting till the new one was announced to get it, but it's not going to show up in time for me to fly to Germany, unless it's at my house right now, which I know it's not. But I mean, it has Civilization on it, so I can start Civilization on the plane and play it the whole way through. Or Transport Tycoon. If I play games like that, I can last forever. Or Final Fantasy Tactics, things like that. But I usually read books and watch movies and listen to music and work. Do I watch Taskmaster? I do. I tried to start watching with my wife, but she hated it. And it kind of ebbs and flows. It depends on a lot on the players in the game. There's some seasons that are better than others. I watch more clips of it now on YouTube than I watch the actual seasons itself. Which board games and video games are you excited to play as of now? Well, I mean, I'm always excited about the next board game I haven't played. Always am. As for video games, I just got Borderlands 4 and I'm playing through it. It will be a long time before I finish it. I might not finish it before the end of the year. I don't play tons of video gaming. So I'm like, I'll tell my family I need to kill some people. Then I play Borderlands for a while. And I'm really enjoying the fourth one. Every time they're like 2 billion guns, they keep diversifying it even more now. The question I always get asked, how many new games do you play on average a week for the Dice Tower? How many new games? It changes from week to week, but figure about 15. How many do you play a week just because you want to? Every game I play, I want to. What do you think has changed the most for you when it comes to your gaming habits and preferences? Is it less tolerance for very long games? Well, that's one. And that's one for almost everybody. My tolerance for long, complicated rule books gets lower. My tolerance for bad components has definitely gone down. I used to be like, oh, it's a small little game, I'll play it. Now I'm like, nope, don't have the time for that. I don't know. I mean, I've changed a lot on games over the years, or you can't help that, I think. But those would be some of them. What retro arcade games are your favorite? Well, thank you for asking a question I like. Of all the retro arcade games, my favorite by far is X-Men. I love that game. The side-scrolling X-Men is my favorite. Every time I see it anywhere, I'll probably stop and play it. I like it that much. That's by far my favorite. I played a lot of Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat in the days. I like Street Fighter better, for sure. Of the old games, there's a game I played, and maybe someone can help me out with it. I cannot remember what the game was exactly, but it was, say it came out in the early 90s, late 80s maybe. But you had an army, you're attacking an enemy army. I played this in the arcade, and I want to say I had a flying saucer main ship or something where I had a main one, but I could summon more units and they would go and fight each other. But I was also shooting at the enemy as they were coming down the screen. There was 2 armies. If someone could tell me the name of that game, because I've always wanted to go find it and play it. Bomberman. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Yeah, those are probably my favorites of the retro arcade games. Do you have a preferred Civilization victory? Culture. I don't know why. I just love Culture. Winning, I'm just like, you want to be like me. But Culture is space. For reading, do you prefer physical books, digital, or ebooks? I'll read any. It doesn't matter to me. I don't know the difference between digital or ebooks. Digital Kindle, you can just read on your phone. I read on my phone almost consistently. I have hundreds of books on this phone, and I like that. I'm going on an airplane. I don't have to sit and go, oh man, I hope I have books. I have them. You mentioned getting flack for certain low-high scores in a review. Has there ever been a game where the response to your score surprised you, or can you typically see the kickback coming? We usually can see it coming. Sometimes I'm surprised when we don't get flack. Like I'm like, oh boy, we said this game was bad. And then a bunch of people come in and go, yeah, it really was bad. And I'm like, oh, cool. Guess we're not the only ones. The ones I'm most surprised about, and I guess I should get over it, is like what just happened, where I gave a game a 7, said I liked it, and people acted like I disliked the game. But, yeah, for the most part, we expect people to come in and yell. Just wondering, are there any defined expectations with Dice Tower affiliates like Brian Drake when it comes to how often they submit reviews and which games they cover? Yeah, I work it out with them on what they're going to do. How bad do you feel about stealing my friends from me and coaxing them back to fire? You stole him first, slacker. I don't feel bad at all, not even a little. Yeah, Donkey Kong is a game I liked, but I didn't keep playing it over and over again because I just wasn't very good at it. I didn't feel like there was a lot more I could do with Donkey Kong. What's the typical process for Arcane Wonders to consider a game? I don't know, but I think you're specifically meaning Dice Tower Essentials. You got to get me to look at the game and then send it to them. And that's the hard part. If you can get me to like it enough, and then I'll send it to them. What podcast do you join? I don't listen to a ton of podcasts these days. I listen to Secret Cabal gaming podcast, and I just listened to a new one that I might start listening to more. What was it? Hang on. What was it? History That Doesn't Suck. I found that pretty interesting. I only listened to one episode, but I liked it. I might listen to more. Star Control 2. Well, let me look. Star Control 2. I want to say it was on land. I thought we fought over land. I don't think so. I want to get my non-gamer colleagues into board games. They don't have any preferences. No? Because I don't know them. People ask us all the time. Just find out, figure out their likes and dislikes. Try a couple small games with them. Find out which ones they like. And then if you find one they like, then look for games that are similar to that one. When was the last time you fell in love with an ugly game? Not just nice, but ugly. That your first take on was Repulsion? That would be Magical Athlete. Any advice on teaching a game when people would rather socialize? Just let them socialize then. If people don't want to play a game, why play a game with them? I'll play a game with people, but I'll say, who wants to play? You don't really want to play, you just want to sit and talk? Then sit and talk. Because if I force you to play a game, they're going to still sit and talk. And now I'm going to be annoyed, why aren't they paying attention to the game? What happened when you got stuck in traffic for Dice Tower Podcast? Did Eric and Julie leave and you went on and there was nobody? No, I just didn't make it in time to record it. I just was running late, forgot about the podcast, remembered the podcast, and then traffic was slow. It didn't make it in time. So they did it without me. But I'm in the next podcast that's going up tomorrow. Is it tomorrow? It is tomorrow. They're baseball-themed 1-versus-1 card-based games. There's a lot of them. Baseball Highlights 2045. Any Netflix, Hulu, Max, etc. series you enjoyed recently? I just started watching The Last Frontier on Apple. It's basically like Con Air, but serious. So far, I'm enjoying it. Yesterday, one channel did a video reacting to your top 10 best games of all time, and they have mostly agreed with you. Do you think Le Havre would benefit from Awakened Realms treatment? Oh, I hope they don't do that. If only because then I would have to get it. But I just can't see it. They're going to pick the ones that are most popular. Like they just did Agricola, which saddens me because Caverna is so much better than Agricola. But I get it. Agricola is more popular. Do I know the next one they're doing? I don't. I think. So, would you consider a game that can be played with an unlimited amount of players a strength or a unique thing? It would be a unique thing. It's mostly when people say that, it's a roll and write. I could play a roll and write with 10,000 people. We all play at the same time. Sure. Are there any designers you'd compare to Seiji Kanai in terms of creativity and elegance in small games? Sure. But not off the top of my head, right? There's lots of great designers of games. I just look for good games, you know. Some of the best designers have made games that are not great, but some of the worst designers, I mean, there's great games. Just look for good small games. And honestly, folks, I know it is still 8 minutes before 11, but I'm going to end a little early today, mostly because I would like to pack up and get ready to go. I got to go get some things ready. I'm going to go home with my family and just chill for a bit. I'm going to, then we got to go on the trek to Miami. Then once we get to Miami, we'll pack up, get on the flight. Land in London. Go from London to Dusseldorf. Go from Dusseldorf to Essen. Go to the hotel. Drop us off at the hotel. Go to the Messe. And then we'll see you. Folks, come by the booth if you're going to Essen. Come by starting Thursday. Come say hi to us Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We're doing a show on Sunday. Top 5 of some sort of thing. You'll see when you get there. And yeah, lots of exciting things. We hope to see you there. We'll try to put up lots of videos this week about the convention, and maybe we'll have some that will go up next week about the convention too. And yeah, thank you, everybody. I will see you all. And don't forget, Joey and Wendy are doing live Q&As later this week, and we got videos going up each day. We appreciate everyone who watches at Dice Tower. Thanks. See you next time. I'm Tom Vasel. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you like this review or whatever you just watched, wasn't it amazing? Check out our channel, Dice Tower. We have all kinds of things. We review games, we do top 10s, we play games live. It's all about board games, but especially the people who play them. Check out Dice Tower YouTube channel.